Welcome back. This is Scott, and I'm glad to be with you again. Today we're going to talk about buying a home, and this is a kind of an interesting market that we're in right now. Home buying has, I guess, evolved. It's changing. It's ever in flux. Here, 2 years ago, there were just tons of homes on the market, and now all of a sudden, as you kind of heard in the last couple shows, we actually have a little bit of a decrease in the amount of inventory that's out there, and so it's changed home buying a little bit for buyers. But there are a couple things that haven't really changed that much. I mean, you always had to be qualified in order to purchase a home. And that's kind of what I want to start off with, I think, today is here's kind of a misconception. Back 5, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't uncommon at all to go out and find a house, put an offer in, and then take 4 or 5 days to go around and check out lending and get pre-qualified. Well, that has all changed. With the introduction of massive amounts of distressed properties out there, the banks being actively involved in the real estate business now, the market has become one where they want to make sure that you're pre-qualified going into a transaction. One of the reasons is these transactions sometimes can take a long time, and to get to the end of a 60, 90, 120-day window only to find out that your buyer couldn't even have met the pre-qualification criteria sets everybody back. I mean, it's harmful to the process. And so it's very important that buyers get pre-qualified. Now, in most cases, you're not required to get pre-qualified with anybody in particular. So if you have a banking relationship with a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America, Chase, one of those we call the big box brand, you definitely can go down, you can talk to them, they can work the paperwork and get you a pre-qualification letter, let you know how much you can borrow, what you can afford to purchase, some of the different lending options that they offer you, those kind of things. Or you can use a mortgage broker. Now, personally, I like mortgage brokerage a little bit better because there's a whole lot more flexibility. Typically, they wholesale to a lot of these big box brand lenders. So there's an opportunity for you to really compete. The rates, the closing costs, the fees, those type of things. And all of these lenders are going to issue to you what's called a GFE, a good faith estimate. And it'll let you know approximately what they believe your interest rate will be based on your credit, what you can expect for a payment, an estimate of your taxes and insurance and those kind of things. But in today's market, there's very few times where we can submit an offer without having this pre-qualification form. So before you go out kicking tires and looking through 30 and 40 homes, it's important to have this pre-qualification, because here is what I have had happen. I have taken people out to see homes who have said, we're going to do it on Monday. Can you take us out on Saturday and we'll get on it on Monday. We go out on Saturday. We find the home of their dreams for the price that they were expecting to pay, and I can't submit the offer until they have the pre-qual. So Monday they call up their lender, say, hey, I want to get a pre-qualification. Their lender takes 2-3 days. Now, most mortgage brokers work a little bit quicker than that and can typically have you a pre-qualification turnaround same day or next day. But sometimes 2 to 3 days to get a pre-qualification. By the time we get the pre-qual and submit the offer, we've been beat out. And it's disappointing to a buyer when you run into this situation. So it's very important that you get pre-qualified. Now, we do have out on our website, scottwhitwam.com, and you can get there by going either to the scottwhitwam.com site directly, or you can go to rescottaz.com, and that'll take you to our radio broadcast page, and from there you can find your way to where we have our referral list, and in there we have a couple different mortgage brokers that I would recommend that you at least talk to, get some bids from. We don't push anybody's service. I don't care where you borrow the money from. Your agent shouldn't really care where you borrow your money from. All they should care is that you find the best deal available for you. So if you go out and to our website, go to the community resources page, there is a referral list out there. You can download it for free. Doesn't cost you anything. Download it. There's some mortgage brokers you can talk to in there. Let them get you pre-qualified, give you a good faith estimate. Take that good faith estimate to your big box brand bank and see who can get you the best deal. But when you go talk with your realtor, then you'll have that pre-qualification letter, and your realtor will be much more interested in taking out shopping for houses, because they know then when you do find something, you'll be able to take the next step, and it'll make it an overall better process for you. So now, when it comes to buying properties, a lot of times we get questions about what should I be looking for? And I think that there's kind of a couple categories that I'd like to kind of split this into, and that is if you're a first-time home buyer. A lot of times I get first-time home buyers and they bring me a list. We want a house that has A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in it. And there aren't very many of those houses available, so we end up looking for a house today, one next week, one a couple weeks from now. And a lot of times it becomes frustrating because people aren't finding the house that they like. However, we're driving by houses that are available that they may like and just don't know it because they have not actually had their own personal ownership yet. And so for first-time home buyers, I tell them, be open. You may know that you need at least 3 bedrooms, but let's look at 3 and 4 bedrooms. You may know that you want 2 baths. Well, let's look for 1.5 bath homes and take a look at it. You may say, well, I really need a 3-car garage. Well, let's look at 2-car garages, because some 2-car garages are oversized. Sometimes we find tandem 2-car garages that are actually, or tandem 3-car garage that have been listed as 2-car garages. So sometimes broadening what you're looking for as a first-time home buyer, and sometimes we walk into houses and people say, oh, well, this has A, B, C, D of what we want. We can live without E, F, and G. And so for first-time home buyers, I say make your selection much broader. Now, the other one is people who are upgrading, people who own a current home, and they're either, when I say upgrading, they may be downsizing because the kids have moved out, or they may be looking for more square footage because the house doesn't fit a specific need. A lot of times it's better for those people to kind of narrow their search. They already typically have a home and they're looking to make a change to suit a need that has developed as they've lived in their current home. And so sometimes for people who are upgrading, it doesn't matter whether you're upgrading in size, price, or downgrading in square footage, to narrow down your search a little bit. Now, we're getting close to a time where we're going to have to take a break here in just a couple minutes, but before we do that, I want to remind you that you can send your questions, which we'll take in the second part of this show, to radio@rescottaz.com. That's radio@rescottaz.com. Second half of this show, we are going to take questions from people just like you listening to this broadcast. And if we don't get a chance to answer your questions on the air, we certainly will respond to you by email with an answer to your questions. But it's because of your continued participation that this show continues to work. And so I encourage you, if you have any questions about today's show, a previous show, or maybe just questions in real estate in general, go ahead and send those on over. Now, I want to get back here to the buying process. The other thing I always tell people is shop around. Some people say, well, I really don't want to bug my agent. I really don't know what I want. Shop around. According to the HUD website, the average home buyer looks at least 15 houses before they make a decision. And I would say that with my buyers, very often we look at more homes than that. I like to, set up 8 to 10 homes in a day, and a lot of times we spend, 2, 3 different days out looking at houses. I've had clients that we've shopped for a year before we found a home. That is your real estate agent's job. His job should be to accommodate you in finding the perfect place. So if your real estate agent doesn't enjoy taking you out to see homes, he's in the wrong line of work. You need to be working with an agent, and there are lots of them out there that just love to represent buyers. You can find agents who have the ABR accreditation. That's the accreditation for buyer's representative, and it shows that your agent took a little bit more proactive step into the buying arena, and is probably more likely to want to help you find homes or work with a buyer. There's the music. We've got to go to a break. I'll be right back, and we will get to answering your questions here on Ari Scott Real Estate Talk.